So I wanted to show you one of my travel pictures that I took a couple of years ago when I visited Egypt. You can check it out on my Instagram as well. I had visited the Great Pyramids of Giza, and while I was there, we had hired a tour guide to show us around the place. He revealed some pretty interesting facts to us about the pyramid. He said that it took between 20 to 30,000 people to make these pyramids, and this happened over a span of 85 years. What's more is that he said the amount of stone blocks that were used to create these pyramids were enough to build a 10-foot wall around the whole of France. But what's even more interesting was when he went into talking about the actual construction of these pyramids. So this is how it worked. A ramp was used by which stone blocks could be hauled into position. And these blocks, and the ramp was accordingly heightened and lengthened so that these blocks could be laid down in layers, as you can see in the picture, with each layer being slightly smaller than the one below it to give the pyramid its unique shape. However, about halfway through construction, a problem arose. As the ramp needed to be heightened and lengthened to create such layers, the construction of the ramp became as complex as the construction of the pyramid. This was not cost efficient. So what do you think the Egyptians did to counteract this problem? Well, they curved the ramp around the pyramid as the pyramid increased in height, and this gave the pyramid its unique shape. I've learned three lessons from these pyramids. 3 lessons that I would like to share with all of you today, and 3 lessons that we can implement into our workplaces to make them more employee engaging and more motivating. Workplaces such as our technology companies, our banks, and maybe even our schools. The 3 lessons I'm going to be talking about are teamwork, purpose, and self-achievement. So let's start off with teamwork. If we take a look at our pyramid, this could not have been constructed without the collaborative efforts of these 20,000 workers to haul these stone blocks into position or to create a ramp that effectively made the job a lot easier. Here's how a modern-day workplace, Google, uses elements from their own workplace to stir up teamwork. They use their lunch lines. Yes, you heard me correctly, their lunch lines. So in school, I'm sure most of you are used to the dreadfully long lines that happen in the refectory, around about the 12:35 to 12:45 period, during lunchtimes. Well, in Google, they've got their own refectory, and they've got their own lunch lines, but they've intentionally been lengthened by Google. Why? Let me explain. This is because Google has calculated through observations and experiments that an average person, if he waits about 4 minutes in the lunch line, he would be able to meet new people whilst not getting overly irritated about the wait. So Google has intentionally lengthened their lines so to give their employees an opportunity to collaborate and connect with other employees from different departments, to form connections and to chat with others. Google's philosophy is that these chats would become ideas, and ideas would become projects. Believe it or not, but this is a big way in which Google prospers teamwork within their organization. So let's look at this from another perspective. If we take a good look at our pyramids again, I'm going to talk about purpose now. If we take a good look at our pyramids again, I want to clear up 2 massive misconceptions that a lot of people have about these. The first misconception is that these pyramids, contrary to popular belief, were not constructed to provide them with an alternate source of living. Now, you may wonder, how does this link to purpose in any way? Well, let me explain. When these workers were brought in for pyramid construction, they were given the opportunities to continue on from where they left from. They were given the resources and the equipment to continue on with their farming, whilst helping out in the construction of the pyramid. And this is what we need more of in our workplaces today. You know, businesses today, too, need to satisfy the appetite of their employees, so they can be given opportunities to satisfy their own work interests, so that they can be given opportunities to discover their own purpose in work, whilst fulfilling the goal or the mission of the organization. And here's how we do this. We introduce greater autonomy. I'm going to use the example of Google again here, because I feel that they have a workplace culture that's very understandable. So Google, in their culture, in their workplace, they have allocated physical spaces where employees can go off and they can work on any project of their own choosing. This is called the 20% time program. So what happens is that an employee goes off to this space and he can spend a fifth of his time in the workplace to work on any project of his own choosing. And this has been very successful for Google, as it has allowed employees to discover their own purpose in work, their own motivations. It has led to the creation of products that Google is famously known for today, such as Gmail, Google News, Google Talk, and even AdSense, which has earned this company over 25% of their annual revenue. So what we can take from this is that we should allow our employees some space. We should give individuals some space to discover their purpose in their work so that they can come up with these ingenious ideas. Let's take this to the next level now. Let's talk about self-achievement. From student to student, we all want to achieve good. We all want to achieve in terms of perhaps getting good grades or receiving positive feedback from our teachers. And businesses and employees want the same. But the problem is that our businesses put so much emphasis on ensuring that customers are satisfied with what they get, but are employees satisfied with what they produce? Or in other words, do employees get to see the end product of their work, their progress over time? Let me give you an analogy. If we relate this to the pyramids, it took 85 years for these pyramids to get constructed. This was a whole lifespan. These pyramids were the symbol of Egyptian architecture, yet not one person in the workforce got to see the end product in front of their eyes. And this matters a lot. Let me show you why it matters through an experiment. This was conducted by Daniel Ariely, an economist. And this experiment was based around Legos. So what he did was that he brought participants into a room, and in front of them was a box containing Lego pieces. The objective of this experiment was to build Lego figures. So Daniel, he offered $3.30 for the first Lego figure that these participants built, $3 for the second Lego figure that these participants built, $2.70 for the third, and so on and so forth, until the participants didn't want any more money. So the participants got building. After each figure was built, he took that and he placed it in another separate box, which was clearly visible to all the participants. On average, he noted that these participants built 11 figures before giving up. He then conducted the same experiment on another group of participants. He offered them the same pay and the same conditions, except each time the second group of participants built a figure, he took the figure and he disassembled it in front of their faces, and he put the pieces back into the original box. So in other words, the first group got to see the end product, they got to see the bionicle figure get kept in another box, while the second group got to see their work get shredded in front of their faces. And it is of no surprise to see that the second group managed to build only 7 bionicle figures in comparison to the first group, who built 11. So we should learn from this, and we should allow our employees to view their progress. We should allow them to view their final creation through all the work that they've been through. Let me leave you all with an idea. If we learn from what we've said from all of these lessons, if we can incorporate teamwork, self-achievement, and purpose into our workplaces, we can create workplaces that are smart. We can create workplaces that value their employees. And above all, we can create workplaces that work. Thank you.